It takes a magnificent filmmaker to thoroughly corrupt an audience. This is a phrase from this chapter of Cinema Speculation by Quentin Tarantino. Today we're watching Dirty Harry. I didn't know that Dirty Harry has always been a controversial film, even back in 1971. It was met with mixed to negative reviews by the two biggest critics of the time, Pauline Kael and Roger Ebert. They didn't complain about the craft of the film, no, that is generally considered undeniable. No, they accused it of being a fascist movie. More than 50 years later, is that true? Let's start by talking about Harry Callahan, played by Clint Eastwood. Harry as a character is detached, rude, and sarcastic in a way that I find repellent. I also don't think he's a particularly interesting character, contrary to Tarantino's opinion. To me, Harry's tragic backstory feels so obvious and cheap, and Clint's performance is generally very one-note. And yet, I obviously want him to win. Pauline Kael has the answer in her review. She says, the most skillful suspense techniques are used on very primitive emotional levels. Of course we want him to win. We see a monster like Andy Robinson's Scorpio, and we want to see him slain, even if the knight in shining armor is also a monster. The character has been described as a fascist. He definitely has a self-determined version of justice, like Tarantino puts it. But I also think it's a trope that's very common for characters that impart justice. The incompetent police force and the righteous policeman is already a cliché, although I understand that it was newer back then. The thing that rubs me the wrong way in 2025 is the reason behind that incompetence: liberalism. Tarantino describes it really well in the book. What made Dirty Harry a political film was the way Siegel so skillfully tailored the film for its intended audience: frustrated older Americans, who by 1971 didn't recognize their country anymore. Dirty Harry is deeply conservative as a character, and the film ultimately proves him right. We see him scoff and react with open disgust at free love, sexual liberation, anti-police brutality discourse, and Miranda rights.
That man had rights.
Well, I'm all broken up about that man's rights.
You should be.
I follow Carrie Coon and Tracy Letts on Letterboxd, and the review has a phrase that I thought about a lot while making this video. It says, it's possible to disagree with a thesis and still thrill to the entertainment, even identify with the characters. Simply put, conservatives can be great artists. I agree, I think this could be a well-made piece of conservative art, and even though I disagree with its worldview, it's effective enough that, like Tarantino says, it corrupts me as a liberal and gets me to root for Harry, and yet I can't respect this movie. My favorite shot of Dirty Harry is the helicopter scene in the stadium. It's breathtaking. I love how moody it is, the soundtrack behind it is so eerie. But what is it depicting? Perhaps the one scene you can unequivocally say that Harry is behaving like a fascist authority figure, openly torturing a suspect. It's bad, but the film knows it. This very conservative film portrays its hero ignoring the liberal Miranda rights as a failure, as a disturbing act, the complete opposite of a triumphant moment. I think this is the director Don Siegel's true colors coming out. And the thing is, this is not a secret. Don Siegel was not a conservative. Tarantino describes him as apolitical regarding his work. And Siegel described himself as a left-leaning liberal in a New York Times interview. There's even an anecdote in Cinema Speculation, quoted from Peter Bogdanovich's book Who the Devil Made It, in which, before an industry screening of Dirty Harry, Siegel worries that all his liberal friends will disown him once they see the film. I don't know for sure if Don Siegel shares the conservative views of his film. Maybe he was secretly conservative, maybe he was just pandering to an ever-growing conservative audience. If that's the case, I just don't think that going against your beliefs and playing the hits for a scared reactionary white audience is worthy of respect, in my opinion. I value artist expression more than I do great craft. And so, going back to the phrase at the beginning of the video, sure, Don Siegel corrupted the audience with his great filmmaking, but what's sad is that I think the audience corrupted him first. Thank you for watching. This was watching every movie in Cinema Speculation by Quentin Tarantino. We have a long way to go. If you want to see more, please subscribe. I upload videos about stuff that I love. I didn't love this movie, but I love reading the book and learning more about film history and watching stuff that I haven't seen. So if that's something that you're interested in, please subscribe.